Good morning. I've hosted and managed over 300 live shows across Latin America and the Caribbean. So that's sometimes in front of the camera and sometimes behind the camera. And today we're going to find out how the recent iShowSpeed Caribbean tour and what we have in common. So stick around. We'll be right back. All right. So, as you can tell with my introduction, this is going to be a database live stream. So, let's get started. So, iShowSpeed, whose real name is Darren Jason Watkins Jr. He is 21 years of age and he's from Cincinnati, Ohio. He's a YouTube subscriber count of right now over 54 million subscribers. He actually recently did a video 88 days ago. And if you like me and my friend, I shouldn't say like me because I knew he existed, but my friend and I were discussing how different, you know, the demographic that he has it's definitely removed from us, but she called him is house speed. That's to tell you how far removed a lot of us are from his demographic. But to put into perspective, because some of us who are watching this may be far removed from his demographic, he has more subscribers than Bad Bunny on YouTube. He has more than most news networks combined. He streams IRL, and for those who may not know, that means in real life, meaning he takes a camera, walks out the door, and brings his millions of viewers with him. And there's no studio, there's no script, and there's no Netflix budget. He's toured Europe, Asia, South America, Africa, and most recently from April the 25th to May the 10th of 2026, he has toured the Caribbean. So he's toured 15 countries, 15 stops, and this is where it gets interesting for both of us. So let me give you some numbers because this is less about his Gen Z and more about B2B because we're blasting this on LinkedIn as well as YouTube. And this is a data driven show. So let's talk about his watch hours. So we pull some information as it relates to what we can, because obviously a lot of things are gated and it's private to him. But he's looking at watch hours of near 8 million live views across the first 5 Caribbean islands. That's 16 million plus accumulative. His peak concurrent viewers in a single stream on YouTube is 1.92 million, which is one of his personal records. His peak Twitch concurrent viewers are 109,500, which is also a personal record. He has new YouTube subscribers gained during the tour. This is specifically referring to the Caribbean. So that was 700,000 in 2 weeks, and new Twitch followers gained over 314,000. Countries visited in a single day: 5, St. Martin, Martinique, Dominica, Guadeloupe, and St. Kitts. And some folks from Latin America who may be watching this, like, what? Where are these places? That's okay. There's a map. You could check it out. And actually, we're going to use this live stream as a way to repurpose content. So we will give you some ideas on where those places exist. So he went shark diving in the Bahamas. He streamed from underwater, the world's first underwater sculpture park. He danced in the streets of Trinidad. He met Sean Paul. He met Popcorn. He met Sincere in Jamaica. And here's the kicker for any tourism board watching this right now. I mean, if you are watching this now on replay, he did all of this without a single press release. No grants, no official partnerships. The official partnerships actually did come. I should correct that because Expedia, during the tour, launched his new partnership. Could be in the millions as far as that's concerned. But he just showed up and 16 million people watched from the Caribbean. And when it comes to the financial impact of that, I mean, there's an old school way of thinking when it comes to tourism in the Caribbean, and that's partnerships where you go to a conference, you set up a booth, you spend millions of dollars to get people to sign up. And really and truly, what iShowSpeed did for absolutely no cost to any tourism board is just mind boggling. So, what does iShowSpeed, or as my friend calls it, is House Speed, and I have in common? We've both hosted live shows across the Caribbean. We both know that this is a region with massive underrepresented in global digital media. And we both believe that a camera, good connection, and something worthy is all you need, which I'm doing right now. The difference, obviously, he has 54 million subscribers, like whatever. But, I have you guys here. We're going to do what we can. I mean, he flips over things. I unfortunately am unable to do that. I will blame it on age. But if he ever wants to race, he could jump on a bicycle and I will beat him. Outside of that, one of the bigger differences is like, what is it in the next 20 minutes that we're going to discuss here is that he doesn't just justify his time when it comes to the subscribers, but for you who have to justify adding live streaming for your social media strategy, let's talk about this. Let's go back to the beginning, because when it comes to the attention economy, what it is. Oh, guys, I'm so like excited about this that I forgot to go back to the comments. So hold on, sorry. Hi to Rosie joining me from YouTube. So appreciate this that you joining us today. Um, as well as Alicia, Marie Jackson joining from YouTube. If you're joining us from LinkedIn, let me know. I usually have a lot of visuals for these live shows, but this is just a tester to see if folks are going to appreciate what I have to say. But I'm actually going to be doing this weekly for the next 3 months. It's going to be a lot of work. I'm a little scared, but let's go into it, right? So when it comes to why I show speed and why the live streaming is important, let's go back to the beginning, right? What is the attention economy? I'm sure some of you guys have heard it before, but I want to give you the simplest definition, which is attention is a finite source, right? There's only so many hours in a day. As for people who have children, I don't know how you do it. Kudos to you. So, when it comes to a finite resource, you only have so many eyeballs on your target market if you are a marketing manager, if you are a business owner. So, every minute that someone spends on their phones, and let's be honest, we all are guilty of it, check your screen time, you know who you are. That's a competitor. It's not the folks who are selling the same item or service that you are. You're fighting against the attention. So, it's a minute they're not spending with your brand. So the concept of the attention economy was popularized by psychologist and Nobel laureate Herbert Simon back in 1971, who has argued that information is consumes attention, and a wealth of information creates a poverty of attention. So let me repeat that. A wealth of information creates a poverty of attention. And a lot of us feel like time is going really, really fast. Why is it moving so fast? It's because we're spending so much time consuming so much information. And, fast forward to today, the average person sees anywhere upwards of 5,000 marketing messages per day. And the average LinkedIn post gets seen for less than 3 seconds, guys. 3 segundos. Let me say that again. 3 segundos or 3 seconds before people continue scrolling. So the question isn't how do I create more content? The question is how do I earn more time? Because time is what converts, not impressions, time. And that is why live video is different. And that's why iShowSpeed's average session length during the Caribbean tour was hours, guys, hours of continuous watch time. And I personally need to let you know it was difficult for me when I was doing research for this live show to watch his live streams because I got anxiety because it was like always, right? But that's what his audience has grown up with him. I've literally seen his audience scream at him like Michael Jackson. And yes, I'm showing my age. That's how he is. So when it comes to driving your customer and driving your profit for your business, you don't get that from a static post. You really have to change your mindset as to what your constant content strategy looks like. So let's give you a brief history of live streaming. I think we have a quick break coming. Can we do a quick ACM break there and we'll be right back?
We see it a lot, unfortunately, where people have just built the website and then that's it, and then wonder why the business might fail, or then have a narrative that e-commerce doesn't work, and it's just simply not the case. You have to be able to think past the creation of the product and the website through to this is my plan over the next 1 to 5 years in terms of creating interest and value and excitement in terms of what we're doing and driving customers to your business online.
Of ACM Live. I'm just really having fun because the real show is going to start next week, but I really needed to jump on this conversation around iShowSpeed and how you can monetize live. No iShowSpeed energy required, really, because I don't have it. I don't know if you have it, but good on you if you do. So just before I went on the break, we were discussing his numbers and we were discussing the attention economy. But I want to go back as well, not as far back as 1970s when the attention economy phrase was coined, but more along the lines of let me give you a quick history on how we got here, because context matters when you're pitching live video to your boss or to your mirror, because you might be your boss and you're self-employed and you need to give yourself that motivation, right? So YouTube launched its live stream feature in 2011. That's 15 years ago, and it was barely functional. You needed a dedicated encoder, technical setup, and a small team. Not exactly let's just click live and talk to who's out there, right? Just like I did this morning with this live show. Facebook Live launched in August 2015 initially. Only celebrities, oh my gosh, I remember this. Only celebrities with verified pages could use it. Then we rolled out all the other users in 2016. So bear that in mind. That's 10 years ago. And Zuckerberg himself noted that people watch live streams 3 times longer than regular video and comment 10 times more. And that's Facebook data. That's came directly from Facebook, and it moves fast because they developed the live stream because they realize the attention economy, which is how they make money, is important to invest in that. So what about LinkedIn Live? It came a little later. Beta launched in February 2019, and I actually remember because I was it's around COVID time when I actually got the feature for live. I got initially the video. I was the first, I think, in the Caribbean to get it. It was invite only, and LinkedIn typically slow. It's usually slow on consumer features. We're considerably smarter when it comes to the speed in which they roll out live stream. So they watched what the other platforms did, and they're like, you know what, we're gonna build a more polished product for professional content. And it actually was a very slow rollout because they had a whole process where you had to apply to get approved for not just live but video in general. So what does this mean for you and your business? LinkedIn Live is still early. Personally, I think it's still early, unlike Facebook, where everyone and their grandmother has gone live. Based on a true story, I've seen someone grandmother bake bread. LinkedIn's live ecosystem is relatively uncrowded. It's not that many people, and the algorithm still rewards it. And I know this because I mentioned earlier, I've done over 300 live shows. So we've seen the impact of LinkedIn live shows. And I've also seen what people are not doing and underutilizing their LinkedIn pages. So most people are just posting static images, carousels, and wondering why no one's booking for their business. So let's talk about the lessons that we're going to learn here today when it comes to flipping the lens on what iSpeed did and still does, because I'm pretty sure he has more trips in the future with his recent announcement of partnership with Expedia. Let's see what we can steal from him and really invest in your B2B strategy. So let's see how it goes. Lesson one. You need to show up where people don't expect you to show up. Speed didn't stream from a studio. He went to the communities, the schools, the markets. And for B2B business, that might, let's just we're always broadcasting from a boardroom. How about you go to a client? Because there's nothing like a Google review. I mean, I have made many, many decisions to spend money solely on strangers' reviews online. So why not go to someone who knows you and praises you and know that you do a good job and do a live stream from there? Go behind these scenes of an event, show the work in progress, and authenticity earns watch time that polished production cannot. And I actually have a personal story for that. I recently landed a Mexican client, and before we signed on the dotted line, I went to one of their expos and I made sure and showed up and I did some streaming. I also interviewed their team. And I mean, it's definitely one of the reasons they signed a dotted line for a full year contract this year. So I drink my own Kool-Aid. So when it comes to collaboration, it multiplies your reach. And I've actually seen this on platforms like YouTube. I believe it happened in the beginning of this year or last year, where you can now have a collaboration video of two individuals. So let's say, Bad Bunny and NFL, when you have the Super Bowl, those two digital assets can now stream simultaneously. So when it comes to what happened with Speed, he actually teamed up with a local creator from Dominican Republic called Alofoke. He is a huge creator there, and they broke records, because they outperformed any previous streaming he ever did, because that's bringing a local element, an existing audience, and they're streaming together. And one of the last lessons that you need to learn from iShowStream is consistency. And this is something I'm also learning, because consistency creates compound returns, and a lot of us think that we need to be perfect. Unfortunately or fortunately, perfection is secondary to consistency. So Speed streamed every single day for 2 weeks. Not always perfect. There were a lot of screenshots of people saying how disrespectful he was because he left. But the reality is he makes money off of constantly being available and live streaming. So guess what? If you offer him food and his live stream cuts off, he's going to say no and go to somewhere else, right? So although they have technical issues, he showed up every single time. And that's why his Caribbean tour generated over 8 million watch hours. And not because of one viral moment, but because of consecutive days of content. And for B2B businesses within the LinkedIn Live space, one live show per month done consistently for 6 months builds something for competitors who will struggle to replicate what you've done overnight. So I think it's something that you need to reflect on, because I think the LinkedIn space is so new, and it is an opportunity for you to grow your business. I'm not going to get into the technicality of things, but I will show you what we do for our clients. So we're going to do one small quick break and we'll be right back.
Within our pre-qualification process, what we do as mortgage specialists is we not only assess how much you qualify for, but we go the extra step in confirming how much is the legal fees. So at the point of getting pre-qualified, when you leave that interview on that day, you will know exactly or have an average of what are the fees associated with the transaction.
And welcome back to ACM Live, where I am streaming live from Mexico City, de Mexico, La Ciudad de Mexico. So we're talking about monetizing your live, and we're specifically looking at iShowSpeed, what we can learn, and his energy of flipping over cars. You don't need to have that. That's okay. We can still just stream from our living rooms and build an audience. Okay. There's so much to learn, and if you miss anything I mentioned earlier, and that's okay. Once this live is over, you can check it on the replay, and that's one of the plus of doing live stream. So we've established that live video works. We've established that LinkedIn Live is underutilized. And we've established that your competitors are not doing this yet. So the question I get the most often is, okay, who has time to do all of this? That is a valid question. Even me, like having to do these live streams and promising myself that I will do this for the next 3 months, it's a lot. And it's a great question. So that's where most marketing teams are like, they run a live show or they do a webinars. Everybody loves a webinar. Oh my gosh, everyone loves a webinar in the B2B space. And you may have, 100 people registered and then 20 people show up. And then by the first 10 minutes, then 10 people drop off the call. And when you finally are finished on that live stream after 60 minutes, that video sits somewhere on a Google Drive, on a Dropbox. You may send out an email. We're like, okay, well, if you attended this webinar and it was impactful for you, give us a buzz. And literally, that is a digital asset that you are wasting money on. So what did we do at AC Marketing Caribbean is we built a system that treats your 1 hour live show as a content gold mine. So I have a bit of a let's hold on. Let's oh, here we go. So we have a bit of a content funnel here. I hope you can see this. So what we do is we take a 1 hour live show, and that is basically the source. And just like, iShowSpeed showing up on Trinidad and Tobago and eating doubles and using stick fighting. From that show, we capture inbound comments. Specifically when it comes to LinkedIn Live, when you sign up for an event, you have to share your information. So guess what that is in the B2B space? That's considered lead generation, right? So I mean, all goes back to making sure that the name of the event is something people want to attend to. But let's go back to the iShowSpeed space. When folks are commenting and DMing, that is considered a warm lead. When the person is on LinkedIn Live and they've actually signed up for your show, that's considered a lead. So that's instant for you. So we also are able to extract countless of social images, which you have seen when it comes to iShowSpeed, because many of us have never watched a single live of show of his, but we've seen his face somewhere on his news feed. So they're quotes, they're visualizations, they're behind the scene frames. So that is what comes out of a live show. We cut up live shows into shorts, and we've seen that where people actually pull from iShowSpeed's live shows and update it on their own YouTube channels. So it's short, it's punchy, and most people, as I mentioned earlier, do not go beyond 3 seconds if they don't want to watch what you have to post. So it's extremely important for you to shorten your live streams at some point. So, for instance, this 30-minute live streaming that I'm going to do, that can turn into 10 short videos, right? We produce countless of social media posts. So you can distribute that across your different platforms. So even if you have only, let's say, YouTube, you can take that video because that video is yours and you can create blogs, you can create, you know, images, you can repost your live show because let's be honest, you need to your consumer needs to see your content at least 4, 5, 10 times before it sticks. And obviously writing blogs, SEO optimized long form content is building your space to make sure that when someone search for something, you're the top. And a lot of us, when we see a Google ad, we scroll down to see what's more organic. Those Google ads aren't working, trust me. So 1 hour of your time will create 30 days of content. And you'll never have to figure out, oh my God, what am I going to post now? So let's talk about how we measure this, because brand awareness it's a generic term that a lot of marketing people use. Like, what does that even mean? I have 3 more minutes, so I'm going to go really, really quick. So during the live show, you have live viewers, peak concurrent viewers, comments, DM receives. Week one after post live show, you have short videos, profile visits, follower growth, inbound connection requests. All of this you can do from your LinkedIn profile as well. Within your month one of posting, you have blog organic traffic, you have filled out forms because you definitely have to have a call to action, and a pipeline because people want to follow you to learn more, as well as you can actually look at the number of meetings that you've been able to attribute to a live show content. So closing a deal becomes much easier because people feel as though they know who you are before the conversation starts as to what services and products you have to offer. So when it comes to walking through a quarterly review of your live show, there are opportunities there that exist. So it's not just, hey, people saw our show, okay, but how do we quantify this? This is not a billboard that people are sitting down in their cars watching pass by. These are actual numbers that have created a pipeline. So I want to close off because I have only a couple of minutes and your time is important. So if you want to learn more about this, go in the comments and let me know. Type in go live and I will share this with you. So what we are looking at here is one show, 30 days of content, right? And when it comes to what iShowSpeed has proven is live video is the most powerful content format on the internet. The Caribbean proved that in this region because it created global attention. I mean, again, Expedia partnership literally created a website extension website just so they can follow what he did in the Caribbean. He did other platforms before, but Expedia specifically chose the Caribbean to launch that. So you don't need 54 million subscribers to be able to start your live stream journey. Again, if you want to learn more, you could head over to our page, which is golive.acmarketingcaribbean.com, and fill out the information here, or you could just comment go live on this live stream in the comment section, and we will ensure to send it to you. So if you have, just want to make sure I have anybody, shout out to Javier. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly, from YouTube as well. So on that note, I am going to, let's see, I'm going doing this in real time, guys. And as I mentioned before, organic natural behavior is best for you. So if you're still watching, congratulations, you proved my point. Live video holds attention. So use it for your business. I am Pauline Joseph, and this has been an AC Marketing Caribbean Limited live show. And I'll see you next week because I have some data that I'm really excited to share with you And I'm lame about this. I have nobody else. So I hope that you can join me. So I'll see you then. Bye.